This is your station. This is Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Hello there, good morning, viewer, and welcome to Morning Dew on Dott Television this Tuesday morning. To my viewer who is a Muslim, I say Baraka de Salah, because I know today is Eid Malut. And then, of course, our usual program we take you around events and happenings around the globe. We'll look at the headlines in the papers, analyze them, and then we're sure to bring you one or two conversations to make your day today on different issues. That's how I welcome you. My name is Henry Uzo, and of course, Priska Abamba is in the studio.
Good morning, Mr. Herring.
Thank you.
It's good to have you in the studio. Good morning, viewers. And just I'll follow Mr. Uzo's footstep to congratulate our Muslim brothers and sisters out there who are celebrating today. And of course, we're going to be having a Muslim cleric in the house to tell us more about the importance of this day and the celebration, and to take us around some fundamental beliefs in Islam, and of course to also enlighten us on some other issues around the country. My name is Priska Bamba, and aside from Mr. Henry, I also have delectable success with us in the studio. Success,
Yes,
how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing
You're
great.
looking radiant and
You
astonishing.
too. Good to see you this morning.
Same here.
Yes, good morning, viewers. Welcome to Morning Dew on Dott Television, where we bring you top stories and news headlines happening across the globe. Yes, Eid Malu to our Muslim brothers across the globe. And today we're going to be, dissecting other issues trending and see Where you take us to? Yes, I had a lovely night rest yesterday.
It's showing.
Oh, me,
It's showing.
mine was very fulfilling. You know, I'm a supporter of Chelsea. Chelsea played yesterday,
Yeah.
and they joined the league of those who won their first match of the season. So you can see, I'm okay today.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
Awesome.
All right, viewer. We hope you have a wonderful day today. Stay with us. When we come back, we shall be up to news update with success. Stand by. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak. Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome to News Updates on Morning Dew. We begin from Delta State. The Delta State Director General of the local content agency, Olorogun Kako Stanley Essay, has congratulated Governor Sheriff Oboriwori on his appointment as Director of Finance and Treasurer of the 2027 All Progressive Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council. In a statement, Kako describes the appointment as a recognition of Governor Oboriwori's leadership qualities, competence, and the confidence reposed in him by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He expressed confidence that the governor's administrative experience and leadership skills would contribute significantly to the success of the Presidential Campaign Council. Kaku said the appointment further reflects Oboriwori's growing influence within the APC and the national political landscape. He also noted that the governor's experience in managing public resources and his strategic approach to governance would help him effectively deliver on this new assignment. Kaku added that the appointment is a significant recognition for the Delta State and the wider South region. Now in Nasarawa State, an APC member of the Nasarawa State House of Assembly
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak. Accurate and factual report.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak. Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
welcome back from that break. I guess we're still on the Nasarawa State. An APC member of the Nasarawa State House of Assembly, Sahad Abdullahi, has raised concerns after donated medical and comfort items were allegedly sold at Umaisha General Hospital in Turtle local government area. Abdullahi said he had donated 50 ceiling fans, 40 standard fans, and 50 orthopedic mattresses to the hospital weeks ago. But during a follow-up visit on Saturday, he discovered that the items were no longer there and had allegedly been sold.
Can I tell under the settlement? Don't allow me to be very upset with you. Why are you lying to me? How can you tell me, oh, this is the mattress I bought? Can I show you the mattresses I bought? I bought it for my people. Now, why is the ceiling fans? Where are the ceiling fans? I bought more than 50 ceiling fans. The standing fan, I bought about 40. Where are they? Look at the condition of my people. You are telling me. Yeah, I'm coming now. Excuse me. You are telling me. Excuse me. You are telling me.
The lawmaker expressed disappointment over the development, questioning why public-spirited donations meant to improve healthcare services are being diverted. He called for accountability and urged relevant authorities to investigate the matter. The Delta State Governor Sheriff Oboriwori has called for a shift from reactive security management to preventive intelligence-led and collaborative governance. The governor made the call on Monday while receiving participants of the Advanced Intelligence Officers Course 16-2026 from the Defense Intelligence College, Karu, Abuja. He was represented by his deputy, Samonde Oyeme. Oboriwori stressed the need for stronger intelligence sharing and cooperation among security agencies to protect lives, critical national assets, and the economy. He said Delta State has strengthened collaboration among the Army, Police, Navy, DSS, NSCDC, and other stakeholders through initiatives including Operation Delta Sweep and regular State Security Council meetings. The governor also highlighted the role of traditional rulers and community leaders in providing early warning intelligence to support crime prevention. The team leader of the study tour, Commodore Usman Bugaje, said Delta was selected because of its strategic importance to Nigeria's oil and gas sector, transportation, and overall economy. Now to education. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, has introduced a new system allowing candidates for the 2026 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination UTME to verify and upload their O-level results from home. The service currently covers West Africa Examination Council WAEC results, eliminating the need for candidates to repeatedly visit computer-based test CBT centers. Candidates can use JAM's e-facility platform after obtaining a verification code. JAM will then confirm the result with the examination body before uploading it to the candidate's profile. The board says the initiative will reduce queues, minimize errors, and make the process faster, safer, and more convenient. JAM is expected to extend the service to results from other examination bodies. And finally, to foreign news. The United States has announced new economic measures targeting Iran and countries or entities that continue certain dealings with Tehran. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said President Donald Trump has directed officials to engage world leaders and press them to end specific interactions with Iran. Bazen warned that countries and entities that fail to comply would face consequences, adding that Washington would not have unlimited patience.
Only two paths before them: complete global isolation and a subsistence economy, or a path back to normalcy with an opportunity to rejoin the global economy. Today, we are launching Operation Economic Outcast to foreclose every other option available to the Iranian regime. Any entity that facilitates money laundering on behalf of Iran will be removed from the US dollar system. The clock just started ticking. Let there be no ambiguity as to the position of the United States. An economic engagement of any kind with this murderous regime will expose those responsible to the full reach of American power. And to those who enable Tehran, do not discount the cost of testing Washington's resolve. No nation should expect to enjoy the rewards of our system while helping those who seek to destroy it. It is now a time for world leaders to make a decision between prosperity and isolation, peace and terror, America and Iran.
President Trump has vowed to impose tougher economic pressure on Iran, while Tehran has threatened to disrupt oil exports through the Gulf if the economic pressure continues. Meanwhile, Pakistan's chief General Asim Munir has arrived in Iran as part of efforts to revive diplomatic talks. That's it for news updates on Morning Dew. Thank you. Who's up?
All right. Thank you, Success, for that update on the news. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, straight up to the papers to hear what they are saying. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. And we have the first paper here, Business Day. On Business Day, electricity subsidy trap leaves 9 of 11 discos on government life support. 3 trillion naira aid in 31 months. That's all we can take there.
And moving away from Business Day this morning, we move to the Daily Trust with some very important headlines. We have that headline on top: 30 killed in attacks on 4 Niger mosques. Another headline: Governor Buni Tinubu's advisor donates 600 million naira for Djibouti's varsity. And I love this headline very much. 2027, meet the women seeking presidency. And we have the bold headline: why Tinubu pulled back campaign cancel list. Additional headlines coming in: police honor 10 officers killed by bandit. We have more headline: missing cyclist found dead in uncompleted building. Case over status of Made in Nigeria project in court. That's the much we can take from the Daily Trust this morning.
All right, moving on to the Nigerian Tribune about the masthead. We have NNPC, Shell, others sign Bonga Southwest apparel deal target feed. Police Hannah 10 fallen officers as IGP vows to crush banditry, others after KB battle. INEC yet to get full funding 5 months to general elections. Now, the topical headline here says, fuel subsidy sparks debate at NBA conference in Rivers. The riders below: Sowore, Amechi, Obi in ferry exchanges. Return to fuel subsidy will reverse Nigeria's economic gains. Information Minister speaking there. 2 killed as NURTW motor park officials clash in Osun. JAM automate candidate O-level results upload begins direct verification with exam bodies. Nigeria lost $1.73 billion to flooding in 3 years. Now on Earth, we have climbing stairs linked to 39% lower risk of heart disease death, says study. Another headline making the story, Tinubu flags of dualization of 56.5-kilometer Ibadan Ijebu Ode road. The riders below approves Ibadan Abeokuta road reconstruction. We shall reciprocate in 2027, Ladoja. Keeping Makinde out of road flag off is politics taken too far. Oyo governor speaking there. And that's all for Nigerian Tribune.
Next is the Daily Times. And of course, on the Daily Times, we have Huriwa issues FG 3-week ultimatum to probe Southeast killings. That's all we can take from there.
Okay, from there we'll move on to the Guardian newspaper with the bold headline, Commuters, Businesses Groan as Edo Delta Gridlock cuts off the South-South. Banks account for 92% of suspicious transactions filed in 2025. And from the event that went down in Rivers State yesterday, Obi Sowore differ with article over proposed return of petrol subsidy. Nigeria advances $21 billion Bonga deep water project 25 years after discovery. Additional headlines, states impose hidden fees on operators despite slashing road charges. And finally, Osho 2 fear dead as violence rocks Ikire community. And that's so much we can take from the Guardian newspaper.
Moving away from the Guardian, let's take a look at the Nation. Governors won't have absolute control of state police. How terrorism financiers hide funds by NFIU. Ibadan Ijebu Ode dualize road ready in 36 months. Minister Nelfond has disbursed 322 billion naira as student loan. Another topical story here, why coalition consensus failed by Atiku Obi Sowore, and that's for the Nation.
Moving away from the Nation newspaper, we move to the Punch newspaper with a bold headline, Terrorist using dead persons' accounts, crowdfunding, and that's coming from NFIU. And we have another headline coming from the former president of Nigeria, Jonathan. Poor varsity rankings could stunt Africa's growth. Moving on, 2027 debate, Obi Amechi differ over subsidy. And coming from Ogun State, Awujale, ruling house sues Ogun king makers. That's so much we can take from the Punch newspaper.
Over now to Daily Sun. On Daily Sun, we have Anglican Bishop to FG, stop denying hardship in Nigeria. The next one says, stop divisive utterances, actions. Tinubu warns Nigerians. APC will remain in power beyond 2031, boasts Yari, Tinubu's campaign DG, says Atiku Obi others incapable of stopping presidents. Return to fuel subsidy will reverse economic gains. Ogun APC crisis deepens, leaders fight dirty. U.S. pledges $125,000 to preserve 4,000-year-old Enugu iron smelting. Nigeria's external reserves gain $7.09 billion, hit $52.66 billion. That's all from the Daily Sun.
Moving away from the Daily Sun, we move to the Vanguard newspaper this morning with a bold headline, Opposition parties lash over Yari's comment saying APC will rule beyond 2031. And additional headlines above the masthead: fake agency, court order protects protects us, says DG marked for arrest. Tinubu, Abiodun, others mourn as late actor Ogogo is buried. More headline: NBA confirm Obi disagrees with article on fuel subsidy removal. US warns Nigerians over fake documents in visa applications. And coming from NAFDAC begins street by street alcohol crackdown. We also have that story coming up again on the royal household in Ogun State, Awujale's too. Royal family drags Ogun government kingmakers to court. And finally, NKST Church rejects Benue ranching plan. And we have this very important headline before we go. Domestic petrol supply falls 20.6% to 25.8 million liters daily. That's coming from the NMDPRA, and that's the much you can take from the Vanguard newspaper this morning.
All right, finally, we have Empire newspaper. On the Empire newspaper, we have Niger Delta stakeholders hail appointment of Tuara as APC 2027 campaign security director. Banner headline says NLC to Edo lawmakers touch 2021 autonomy law and face mass action. And finally, we have Fubara Defense LG payroll cleanup inaugurates on Mademe Road project. That's all for the headlines for this morning. When we come back after the break, we shall look at some of them and how they affect the society. Stay with us. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. And of course, we are expecting our analyst all the way from Niwi to join us for the paper review. But before we get across to him, we want to look at some of the issues that were raised here. In your news update, it was read that our dear governor, Oborewori, is part of the campaign council of Mr. President. In fact, he's appointed both treasurer stroke financial secretary. I thought they would separate the portfolio. But then what does that say about Delta and of course the import? Because even one of us, Otuaro, who is the PAP director, MD of the PAP, is also appointed security director of the campaign council. 2 people from Delta State. How do you see that?
Yes, I see that as, a level of accountability and transparency from the leadership from Delta State.
No, from the governor himself.
Yes, from the governor himself. So he's ahead, yeah. So Delta has been recognized for, good leadership and accountability, transparency as well. And our governor has been seen and recognized as someone that, okay, when you entrust something to this person or to his hand, he will use it diligently and give you accurate accounts. It will be accountable. So that is a good style of leadership because leadership is about service. You need to serve the people. They need to see it. That's why you hear they call him the Ukodo because he's working.
You see, is it that they call him? I think somebody has told us on this platform that it's not Ukodo. It's not just a nickname.
It's not
There's
just
actually
a
title.
Yes.
A traditional title. And I know that Ukodo is, a delicacy prepared around about the Delta region.
And everything that makes
a
up
lot
that
of things,
Ukodo.
A lot of things come inside Ukodo,
lot.
and then when Ukodo is being cooked, you have everybody in mind. Everybody has their portion in it.
So that is it. So he's a governor that carries everyone along. And so I want to thank the president for, deeming it fit to see him as
I'm
our governor.
suspecting you are thanking the president on behalf of the governor.
No, he has done this one.
I think this
he has done this one. So let's give him acknowledge. No, let's acknowledge him for that.
Are you
after the show?
Are you a distant cousin to the governor?
You can say that again. He's married to my sister anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Ogome.
Is
your in-law.
Is my in-law.
Yes. Okay. So how about that? 2 people from Delta State appointed into key positions like that. Director of Security, and of course, 2 portfolios, as it were, given to our governor, which is Financial Secretary and, of course, Treasurer of the Campaign Council. What does that say?
I think it's an expression of faith in the governor for that to happen. You agree with me that in life, for you to entrust something that is maybe precious to you, you must have seen some kind of sign from that person to show that this person is trustworthy. This person can do this, can actually deliver. So I think it's a sign of faith in the governor to show that the president trusts him. While I do not want to speak on behalf of any party, but I want to make it clear that if I stand to be corrected, but if I'm right, I think Governor Oborewori is one of the governors of the 36 states, of the 35 states that have not yet taken loan. To finance projects and all of that in the state. And that shows something, that tells something
and
about
also
him,
not
that
owing.
Yes,
not
also
owing.
Not owing
It's not owing
salaries,
salaries,
not owing civil servants.
All right, let's come from this angle. Are you sure it's not payback? Recently we heard the governor saying on air that he has a market that is selling.
Okay.
And his market is the president. Somebody who says that about you, of course, you have to give back to the person.
Well, it's not the only one.
That the Tinubu, no, he says it openly.
Yeah,
that
the
return of Tinubu is his project, and he is carrying it on his head.
The market, they all count.
He says nine market.
Okay, also don't forget, I'm sorry I'm changing the subject, but I can't help but talk about this because I find it exciting. It's exciting for someone like me that we have 2 women on the presidential ticket for this race for 2027. I find it very interesting, and I saw that on the pages of the Daily Trust this morning that 4 women were actually mentioned from different parties, but we have 2 of them who are gunning for the presidential seat, and one of them is from NDP PDP and, of course, the other parties, and we have two of them who are going for vice presidential candidates position. And I think that's a very good development.
Yes, it's a good development. I am happy to hear that you're excited, but you see, I have a problem. You know the problem? It's women that don't vote for women. What
do you have statistics and data to confirm?
Yes, I can give you an example. There was this lady, I won't mention her name, that was the only presidential candidate for the PDP that time.
Oh, okay. I think
and then of course, they went for she voted for herself. No woman there voted for her. Whoa. That was not fair. And women keep shouting about,
But that tells me something. What does women need to start supporting women.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
We need to do more.
We need to do
more. Because women need to start supporting women, because if we can have that recorded, then anyway, let's say that maybe they've not getting the awareness of, it's just recently we started preaching this gospel that women needs to support.
All right, it's like I'm getting signal that our guests. Our guest is available now. For paper review this morning, we are receiving all the way from Newi Caleb Okeke Enyobi, who is a political analyst. Caleb, good to have you on the program. Hello. Caleb, are you hearing me? Hello. I think there's still a connection problem because I'm seeing him, but he's not hearing me. Yes, we'll be fine-tuning. Some of these things, you are depending on a server, and some of the time, the strength of what they give to you is what you operate with. But we'll get by. Now, there's another thing I saw, the state of our roads. That is the issue now, especially as it pertains to, Edo Delta. Now, if you're coming from the west, there are two exits. One is either you're going to southeast, and then you now pass through Benin, through Asaba. Then the other one is you're going to the south, you pass through Benin, Warri, and then you go. Now, the two axes are blocked because of bad road. Now, the bypass at...
And it's causing gridlock.
Serious gridlock. It's one of the headlines we read. Now, and the president is now awarding the dualization of Ibadan, Ijebu-Ode Road, 56 point something 58.6 kilometers. Now, does that give us a sign that, we are close to? Because even if the contracts are awarded today, those roads are so bad, unless they are going to just do remedial stuff. It's cutting off business, it's cutting off movement from the southwest to the southeast, to the south.
Caleb Enyobi is with us now. Caleb Enyobi, can you hear us?
Are you hearing us, Caleb?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Oh, good morning. How are you? How is Nnewi this morning?
Nnewi is beautiful. We are just ready for our Afiolo Nnewi traditional ceremony, which begins today and lasts for the next 4 years.
Are you a Muslim? So that I'll tell you Baraka Salah. I don't want to offend.
No, just tell me Happy Afiolo. That is the festival.
Happy Afiolo.
Today.
All right, thank you. Now, you caught us. I'm sure you overheard us discussing the issue of the bad road, the vast portion of road that links the southwest to the south and to the southeast. As we speak now, people are stranded at the Benin bypass, and then of course all of the congestions coming on the way. And people are on the road for 4 days. But on the other hand, we read from the papers that the president is awarding a contract for the dualization of Ibadan, Ijebu-Ode Road. Even if they award the contract today, the roads are so bad. What do you have to say to that? Why do we allow our roads to degenerate to the level where it becomes impassable before we start talking, before we start doing anything?
Well, it speaks to the maintenance culture we have, your lack of it. But I think the Minister for Works, Dave Umahi, made a comment on his, he made a statement where he said that the dilapidated roads are as a result of the involvement of private firms, concessions given to private firms to repair these roads. And that is why, in his own opinion, they didn't do a good job. And that's why these roads are the terrible state they are today. Well, generally, Nigerians in every aspect of our culture, whether it's of our national life, we don't seem to be very serious, with things that are very important. That road which you're referencing now is a very heavy economical road. It's a road that sees a lot of traffic daily, and the nature of stress that it costs road users is something that, apart from the physical strain people are going through, there's a lot of economic losses too, because when you're not able to meet up with business deals and all of that affects market, that affects commerce. But what we need to ask, the question that we need to ask in the light of what the federal minister of work has said is, why would the government give out concessions and then go back home and sleep? I mean, if these issues are because of the concession given to private sector to repair these roads, why would the federal government give us such concessions and then go home and sleep? It still circles back to the desk of the honorable minister, who is trying to put the blame on private sectors, because people under his office should have been there on the ground to see that what is said is done. I think it was Peter who said that people don't do what is expected, but what is inspected. So the duty behoves on the Ministry of Works, whether the roads are being done by concessions or they are being done as being awarded by the federal government. There should be serious inspections going on throughout the work, so that what is said to be done will be seen to have been done. Because let me tell you the truth, most of these roads are repaired on paper. Most of them are repaired. What happens is that it gets this bad. Yes. Sorry, excuse me. I'm a bit. I have a little bit of cough, but most of these roads they're not. That's why I said they need to be inspected, so that what is said to be done is seen to be done. At the site. So the minister has made a comment. We are expecting him to mobilize to the field today, tomorrow, because he said, from the tone of his writing, it seems that he's of his speech. It seems that any time between today and tomorrow, work should kick off there. But of course, the rains are still falling. We'll see how that happens, as quick as it happens. But at the end of the day, we are caught in the typical Nigerian fashion, where things are not done until they begin to, become a towering issue for Nigerians, who are always at the receiving end of all lapses of both governments and, well, pretty much every sector of Nigeria, since the private sector is also being indicted for not doing a thorough job.
Caleb, you are talking about commerce. We find that from the north come a lot of trailers carrying livestock, carrying, petroleum products, carrying all manner of wares. And there are so many of them coming from Kano, coming from Sokoto. All of them pass through the same Edo Delta to go to the south, to the southeast, then from the west. Now, these heavy-duty vehicles, the owners, can they be involved in the reparation of these roads?
Well, they can be involved if there are tolls. If there are tolls, that is the way they could. I think that's the extent of involvement that they should be. There should be tolls, but since tolls are no longer being collected on that corridor, I mean, how else are they going to be involved? Are they going to form an association to say, okay, federal government, we are going to come in and do different this stretch or that stretch? The government needs to tax those who use the road in terms of tolls. But at the end of the day, what needs to be asked again is, are there going to be alternatives? By now, you should expect, because of how busy that corridor is, there should be train services running, across it. Because if you have train service running across it, you have reduced goods, and reduced vehicles plying the roads. So it's high time that the government looks for alternatives. Yes, the people who are using the roads, they can only use the roads so long as they are available. I assure you, if those roads become worse than they are today, people will still have to, find alternative routes, no matter how far they are. They'll go circle around the country to use other corridors to get their goods to Lagos and all that. But What's important is that if government needs to be serious with how they, if paucity of funds is the problem, they need to create, ways that individuals and businesses could contribute to the maintenance of the roads. But of course, if there are no mechanisms for that, the question does not even arise as to what are the owners of the trucks doing, to ameliorate the situation, because they on their own cannot, begin to repair roads. The government needs to provide the platform for that to happen. But that
Okay,
wouldn't be.
Caleb, I want to ask this question. So now that we found ourselves in this condition, like our roads, our Nigeria roads, to this deplorable stage, what do you think that the federal government can do differently to permanently address this issue of road crisis? Because just the other day, we can see a video whereby a particular car was, at a very deep part of submerged into water. This is our Nigeria road. You can see this is our Nigeria road. In those states in particular, this is someone's car. How did we get here? So what do you think that the federal government can do differently so we put a stop to this road crisis year in, year out?
Well, sincerity is the first thing. We have acknowledged the problem. I mean, the video is there for everyone to see. Federal government needs to be sincere about the problem we have at our hand. There needs to be, of course, an environmental impact assessment along that corridor to find out what causes the level of the speed of deterioration we see along the roads. And when that is done, the reports should be taken seriously and resources should be committed. There is no environmental problem that has no solution. The problem is that we have, or the challenge is that most times the solutions are implemented in half measures, maybe because of lack of commitment of resources, and maybe because also lack of proper environmental impact assessments, prior to the construction of these roads. So it's very critical as they are, because they're really critical, but the government needs to uphold in their decision making, just how important that the actions that are taken to remedy the situation are. And once you have that seriousness in terms of the research work that needs to be done to forestall this issue, and then the implementation is done without any, nobody should come, everybody on the table, both the Minister of Works and every agency involved should bring their A game to addressing it. I believe that a better solid structure of road can be done there. I believe that what has collapsed was not the best we could have done there. So let's start with having a better impact assessment and following up to the letter, whatever the engineers or whatever it is that the professionals, say needs to be done. There are drainages that need to be done to channel water away from the roads. They should be done, no matter whatever cost they should. Because those roads, if you told them, I tell you, they will pay for whatever amounts, maybe in less than 2-3 years, should be able to cover their own costs.